Questions! Hello! Today I'm going to be answering the question, do dreadlocks grow? Okay, so I'm sure a lot of you already know the answer to this question, many of you from your own personal experience, but it is still quite a commonly asked question, and since it is so regularly asked, I believe it should be gone into in a little bit of detail. The answer, which is no doubt obvious to many of you out there, is that yes, dreadlocks do grow. Dreadlocks are made from hair. What you do to the hair that's already grown is not going to affect whether new hair grows out or not, so you can dye your hair pink, you can tie it up, you can leave it down, you can knot it into dreadlocks, it is still going to continue to grow. If the hair was growing the day before you started the dreadlocks, the hair is going to continue to grow the day after you've started the dreadlocks. So where does this idea come from, the idea that dreadlocks don't grow? Well, there is some basis to the thought. While your dreadlocks are maturing over roughly the first 12 or so months, you can very often find that your hair does not actually gain any noticeable length, and in a lot of cases will actually lose length. Dreadlocks are not made from straight flowing hair. They're made from knotted, compressed hairs. So the dreadlocks can start off pretty loose, but as time goes by, they get tighter and stronger. And when they do this, they shrink up and compress. And so as your dreadlocks mature, as they get tighter, you can find that you lose more and more length. I have to stress here that when I refer to losing length, all I'm referring to is loss of sort of noticeable length. So you haven't actually lost any hair, but the hair no longer grows straight down. It's compressed and tightened up. So you still have the same amount of hair, but it's all sort of screwed up into these ropes. This shrinking and tightening can happen faster than your hair grows, which means that it will appear that your hair is shrinking. As time goes by, it will shrink less and less because there's less shrinking to do. They can't actually get that much more tighter, and then at that point they will appear like they're not growing because they can be growing at the same rate as they're shrinking, so nothing really seems to happen. But once the dreadlocks are matured, once they're as tight as they're going to get, they will continue to grow out at a constant rate. They will no longer shrink anymore. The dreadlocks will grow. How much overall length you lose varies from person to person. You've got different people with different hair types and different hair textures. However, the overall length loss is not all that affected by the method you use to start the dreadlocks. So for example, if you backcombed one side of your head and twist and ripped the other side of your head, you may find that over the months the twist and rip goes slower or the backcomb goes faster, but by the time the dreadlocks are matured, they should have shrunk to roughly the same length because it is due to your hair thickness and texture rather than the method that you actually use just to hold the hairs in the sections. Some people experience very little noticeable length loss. I've had people say to me that they barely even felt that they went through a shrinking stage, but there are other people that lose an awful lot of length. Some people can lose more than half their length of hair. The average amount of loss that I see is roughly around a third, so it's not uncommon to lose practically none. It's not uncommon to lose around a half. A third is roughly what I'd consider normal. Only the starting length shrinks, so only the hair that you start out with is going to shrink up. Only the hair that you have on day one is going to shrink. The new growth, the stuff that comes in as your hair grows over time, because they do grow, this new growth is going to grow in and not up at a constant rate. You won't notice any noticeable shrinkage. So pretty much once all your existing length has matured, that's the end of the sort of weird growth stage. After that, they will grow at a constant rate. So you may find that your dreadlocks don't grow or instead actually shrink while they're maturing, but once they're matured, once they're past pretty much the year mark, you will find that they will grow at a constant rate from then on. If you leave them long enough, they will just continue to grow and grow and grow, and provided they're looked after properly, they will grow a lot longer than your regular hair will. So if you've tried to grow out long hair, just regular long hair, you can find that once it reaches a certain length, it doesn't get any longer, and that's not because your hair has stopped growing, it's because the hair just sort of starts to split off and break at the ends, and you have to keep trimming it to keep it looking nice. With dreadlocks, they're stronger, they're rope-like. You're not going to find that the ends are going to become damaged and come off. They will continue to grow forever until you have dreadlocks down to your toes if you so wished and you were patient enough to wait for the hair to grow. I hope that clears things up a bit. If you have any questions, comments, queries regarding dreadlocks in general or growing dreadlocks, the length of dreadlocks, etc., you can leave it down in the comment section below. If you like this video, if you found it helpful, useful, informative, fun, entertaining, any or all of the above, you can click the like button so I know someone liked it. If you'd like to see more videos from me in the future, you can of course subscribe. If you're looking for dreadlocks tips, help, guides, advice, things of that nature, you can find all of my stuff on lazydreads.com. I'd like to thank you guys for watching. I hope to see you again soon. Farewell!